Hello everyone, my name is Burger Fries. Today's episode will be a little bit different because most of the sound that I recorded while playing was lost, so I will be doing a voiceover instead. Bear with me. So my project for today will be a wheat farm and a cow farm right next to each other. I want to have a stable food source instead of just running around and killing whatever I can find. So the project is absolutely 100% inspired by Waddles. He created a wheat farm that works with redstone, so you don't have to harvest the whole thing by hand. And I'm gonna have animals right in front of them so I can breed them and, use them as food. Yeah. So the first thing that I did was to clear up a big area. I want my animals and my farm to be in the same spot so it's easily accessible. And I chose this little area which is very close to my house, and most of the time if I am in my house the area will also be loaded in and will grow. So there was a little cave with water, but I blocked it off with a little bit of dirt and just to even things out. After I cleaned up the area and made it flat, I had to decide where I wanted the farm to actually be. I decided that my animal would be in front and my wheat would be at the very back. The first platform will be 5 long, and then you drop 1 block and you have 7 more blocks. So the idea is that the trapdoors will contain the water, and when you open them, the water will harvest the whole thing. So you have to make sure that your wheat is fully grown first, and then you go at the very end of the farm and you get every single seed and wheat. So the project will use redstone, which is something that I've never used in the past, which is normal because I'm a noob. So I don't really know exactly how this is gonna go, but I'm hoping that we'll figure this out. I had a couple of problems with my redstone because it's the first time that I used it and I was very confused. The first one was that my redstone was 1 block too low and wouldn't connect with the trapdoors. That was very easy to fix. I just had to raise everything 1 block. When I raised the whole thing, I had another issue with the corners. I couldn't connect the corners with the redstone, so I just had to tear the whole row on both sides and replace that with the cobblestone. Anyway, it was my wall now. And you can see now it works. But it did take a long time for me to figure it out because, well, I didn't get it. I was completely lost, completely alone. It took me a while to figure it out. I decorated the cobblestone wall with fences so it would retain the water and actually make a beautiful finish. I wanted to make sure that half slab would actually contain the water, and I made a little mistake and had to redo my redstone again for the 15th time. In the end, I didn't even use the slabs. I used the full block. It was much easier to place things on top because the crafting table and everything was just floating. At the front, I did a little pen for the animals. I put it right in the kind of dead spot in between the 2 wheat farms, so I would have easy access to the animals and the wheat. My plan was to have the lever in front of my animals, so it would be easy to just hit the lever and collect the whole wheat and just feed my animals. Here's what happened. I fell in the little hole that I covered previously. While trying to hook up my redstone, I fell into the hole. Felt a little bit panicky and abandoned the idea as quickly as possible. So don't judge me, I'm a noob and I felt very uncomfortable. I wasn't sure if there was any mobs to fight and I panicked. Then I did the back of the whole build. I used cobblestone and oak. I didn't put any torches because the ground was too low for any spawn, but apparently I missed a spot and a skeleton spawned anyways. So this project took a lot of material, especially when you're gonna see what I'm gonna do next. And I had to go back to my mine, which is not super close, but kind of close. So I had to go back and gathered some coal and cobblestone. Yeah, I ran out of cobblestone. In my world, you've seen many patrol spawns. That is no different today. So this time I decided that I was gonna do it. And I fought them. And I won. But I'm very proud of myself. I actually killed something without panicking. Well, I panicked a bit. And of course, to have beef, I needed cows, and I went ahead and find some cows. It was very hard because apparently I killed all of them before. So I had to travel a little bit to find one of them. And if I wanted to find sheeps, it would have been much easier. But you know what? One of our next project could be a sheep farm. And of course, during my project, I kept breeding the animals because I wanted more than just 2, of course. After this, I went to my current wheat farm and I harvested everything and I replanted the whole thing while working on the project so that the wheat will grow and I would have enough seed to plant the whole thing. In the middle, I put a little water source so that the wheat will grow. I also ended up making a little path that would go all the way up to the top. And I used jack-o'-lanterns to light up the whole thing. My first intention was to put a carpet on top of the whole thing, but when the water runs, the carpet just broke. So for the top platform, I decided to go with a pergola. And I made the whole thing with extinguished campfires, which is very expensive, I now realize. So as I said, I had to go back to my mine to get some coal because it uses so much and I made so many mistakes that I had to use even more. It took me a little while to figure out how I could make a pergola, but I eventually looked on the internet and found some design and I got inspired by them. Of course, while placing campfires, I burnt myself like 15 times, you know, but I didn't die. Then I decorated the pan and around the area so that it would look nice. And also I put some lights as much as possible. I don't have much right now. And I decorated a little bit with, you know, a little kitchen-like place. I have a bed to sleep in case. I also have a bunch of pile of hay bales. I also made a little path that goes from my house to my wheat farm with some path blocks, coarse dirt, and birch slabs. And here's the final result. I am very happy of how it turned out. I was not expecting much because this is one of my first builds. I don't build a lot of stuff in Minecraft. I just started this game and most of the time that I've played, I just kind of go around, look at stuff, get worried, and then stop playing. And I should really have moss blocks so that I can have carpets to put on top of those pumpkins. I also want to say that I'm not posting a lot these days because first of all, these take hours to do and I have very little in my week. I hope that you understand I work 40 hours a week at a bakery. And I'm also planning on having a second channel where I could show you some of my baking skills. Stay tuned for that. And I will continue posting as much as I can on TikTok or YouTube. And I hope that you understand. So in the meantime, have a wonderful day and I will see you next time.